Hello everyone and welcome to another video. My track guide for the Ferrari 296 challenge car going around Portland International Raceway. Let's get into it. We'll start out on the left side of the track, be as close to the wall here on the left as you dare. We'll start to brake once we get to the 500 board here on the left. I aim for about 90% brake pressure and I'm trailing that off all the way to the inside curb. Then we're letting off the pressure at the inside curb, and once we are off that we want to pick up a bit of pressure again. Then I aim for a quick hit for about 50% and we're trailing that off until the top of the corner. I am cutting a bit of the inside curb of turn 2. Once we are at the top of the corner, we want to pick up the throttle again, and we want to ease it in, making sure we get as much traction as possible. Then I cut a little bit of the curb of turn 3. Don't take it too aggressively, it will unsettle the car. Stay at the left side of the track and brake at the 200 board here on the left. I'm aiming for 80% brake pressure and I'm trailing it off until the middle of the corner. Once we are past the first curb of turn 4, we want to let the car track out just a little bit again, before going in for the later part of the corner. I am accelerating a little bit after the first curb here, but we only do that once we want to get out to the entry curb of turn 5. And we want to be all the way out to the left side curb here to help us open up turn 5 a bit more. Once we get to the curb, brake a little bit, no more than 20%. Get the car into the inside curb of turn 5. Once at the curb, start to accelerate so we get all the way out to the exit curb of turn 5. Then we want to stay here for turn 6. For turn 6, I'm braking once I get to the end of the curb here on the left. I aim for 70% brake pressure and I'm trailing that off until the middle of the corner. And I'm staying close to the inside white line. Once at the middle of the corner, we want to start to accelerate again. And here we want to ease in the throttle, making sure we get as much traction as possible. If you have any issues, try to short shift into 4th, it will help a little bit. I aim to come out just about mid-track so I can get back to the left side of the track for turn 7. For turn 7, I brake once I'm in line with the road here on the right, and I start to brake once I get to the beginning of it. Here I'm aiming for about 90% brake pressure, trailing that off all the way to the inside curb of turn 7. Once I get to the curb, I start to accelerate again. For this one, we need all the traction possible, so make sure you are not too aggressive with the throttle, because we are going to be wide open throttle all the way down to turn 9. Make sure to maximize your exit speed by using the exit curb here of turn 7. Then we want to take the shortest route possible all the way down to turn 9, cutting each of these curbs and staying as close as we can to the inside wall. If you get a bad exit out of turn 7, people will try and overtake you into turn 9, but in qualifying stay on the right side of the track. And we want to start to brake once we get to the 300 board here on the right. I'm aiming for 80% brake pressure and we are trailing that off until the inside curb of turn 9. We want to cut all of the inside curb of turn 9, but don't drop the wheel into the grass, that will unsettle the car. Then we want to go down to 5th. Once we're off the curb of turn 9, we want to brake a little bit for turn 10. Just a few percent to make sure we get into the inside curb. Again, keep only the wheels on that curb. Don't drop it into the grass, it will unsettle the car. Then for turn 11, we want to pick up the pressure once we get to the yellow line here in front. Again here, we want to go to about 90% brake pressure and we want to trail that off until just after the middle of the corner. We want a really good exit here because we're going on to the start-finish straight, so I'm also taking a bit of a later apex. Once we are off the brake, we want to start to accelerate again. And of course, because we're going on to the start-finish straight, we want as much traction as possible, so make sure you don't light up the rears here. Use as much room as you need to carry as much speed as you can. And then it's a drag race all the way down to the start-finish line. That's my lap around Portland International Raceway in the Ferrari 296 challenge car of a time of 1 minute 8.8. I have more track guides for the car linked down below. Hopefully you found this one useful. If you did, leave a like down below. Consider subscribing as well. And now for the uninterrupted hot laps.